night shift cutie at the truck stop knows my name. Threw the candle in the midnight oil and lit up the honky-tonk highway. I see the sun come up, cause I ain't been to bed. Gonna have my name cut into a stone when I lay my head. No rest for the wicked, at least for a few hundred miles. I'm running wild, ride the lightning, run on empty in the ring of fire. Rolling like the Mississippi, oh mama tried. But I got bad down to my bones, don't know where I'm gonna go, oh sweet child. I'm running wild, I'm running wild. Always been a runner, never been one for settling down. Spent my life in the backwoods looking for ways out of a one-horse town. I found a six-string ticket and jumped that westbound train. Now I only slow down long enough to stand up on that stage. Cloud nine is a cloud of dust for the next 1,000 miles. I'm running wild, ride the lightning, run on empty in the ring of fire. Rolling like the Mississippi, oh mama tried. But I got bad down to my bones, don't know where I'm gonna go, oh sweet child. I'm running wild, yeah, I'm running wild. Mama, I'm running wild, yeah, I'm running wild. I'm running with the devil, rolling down the road, riding on the storm, living like I'm dying slow. Headlights in the fast lane is my home away from home. If there's light after this tunnel, I'm gonna be the first to know. No slowing down, no looking back, no staying for a while. I'm pedal down and right on track, I'm ready for this ride. I'm running wild, ride the lightning, run on empty in the ring of fire. Rolling like the Mississippi, oh mama tried. And I got bad down to my bones, don't know where I'm going.
Hey rodeo fans, welcome back to an end of the year episode of Reno Rodeo 365. I'm your host, Jen Fisk.
And I'm Tony Hollywood Lucero.
And we are 177 days away from the wildest, richest rodeo in the West. But before we jump into next year, we have to recap the last few weeks in the rodeo world. From stolen vehicles to $1 million cowboys, we have a lot to cover. But Tony, we spent some time down in Las Vegas before the action started. What are your quick and best thoughts on what happened down there?
You know, it was pretty cool. You know, I tell everybody it was kind of cool to feel like somebody when we're really nobody. Just the excitement of us being able to be down there with the crew and being able to film our show down there live. Got to meet some great people, Powder River stock contractor, you know, contestants. Just that part of it alone and the networking we were able to do down there on it, it was a great week. It was a great week.
Absolutely, and the interviews at the back number night were great. I think we got over 60 interviews in.
Yeah.
Between the both of us, we talked to so many contestants, and if you missed any of those or our deep dive special edition live Reno Rodeo 365, you can catch that on the Reno Rodeo Facebook and YouTube pages right now. But let's not waste any time and dive right into today's action right after this message from our sponsors.
You learn a little something over 150 years. Starting is hard, but on the other side of that fight is legacy. Coors Banquet. Start your legacy.
Keep it dirty. Get outside. Join the movement. A proud sponsor of the Reno Rodeo.
Hi everyone, welcome back. I'm Tony Lucero.
And I'm Jen Fisk.
Jen, it's been a crazy year at NFR. Some of the things that happened there. Let's highlight a few of the things that we saw through this. You know, I think Tucker Allen had his truck stolen.
Tucker had his truck stolen early on in the week, and I really just think that set the tone for some of the craziness that we talked about, from bad replays or lack thereof replays to bad calls and scoring, and then, you know, out the gate, Tucker gets his truck stolen. I mean, what kind of bad juju is that heading into the National Finals Rodeo?
Well, you know, he took it to heart because, you know, not only did he win the rounds that he won, I think, second and tied the fourth and won the eighth.
Yep.
And went the average for 9. I think he's got a good, I think he even said it, he's got a good down payment for a pickup now.
He did say, I think that is a motivating factor. You know, get your dually stolen, but come out of Vegas world champion. So I think if he doesn't have a truck sponsor after this, I'd be pretty surprised.
Yeah, I agree with you there. Yeah.
But Tucker, we hope you made it home on 4 wheels.
And and then in the EHV1 that was down there,
Yeah.
I think the vets did a wonderful job down there. I didn't hear of any cases that broke out down at NFR. I don't know that there was, but there could have been some that had taken place. But I think they did a fantastic job on that down there as well.
Absolutely. I think it really threw a wrench in the entire Western industry, but the rodeo world heading into Las Vegas, because when the outbreak happened, so many were already en route to Las Vegas. They travel from all over the United States driving, and I think that being able to pivot on the fly the way that the entire industry did, lending horses when needed, isolating when needed, having vets be there for those health certificates as in demand as we had them with so many people arriving. It really just showed the camaraderie that this industry has, but the impressive outcome of every contestant that made it work.
Yeah, and and the contestants had fun with it.
Yeah.
If you missed it, they had a grand entry this year, unlike no other.
Without horses.
Without horses, yeah. And the contestants towards the end really made light of it and had fun with it, And if you missed it, they came out on stick horses.
The hobby horses, which it was so funny because I wouldn't have expected that with the seriousness that Grand Entry has. They come out typically by which state they're representing, and it's this big, not emotional, but it's this big highlight of how many contestants come from each state because they carry the flag. And this year was just so much different coming out by event. And then the hobby horses, I'm sure they'll get fined for that.
Yeah,
though.
I'm sure, and speaking of fines, can you tell us a little bit about some of the other ones?
Oh my gosh, don't get me started. They were passing those out like candy. A lottery in itself was won in the money collected and fines. Everything from wearing exotic feathers in their hats to the wrong boots at media appearances for one of the barrel racers. I'm sure there's a rhyme and a reason as to why fines are given. I think it holds people accountable. I think there's structure and professionalism to the sport and the industry with it.
Yeah.
But come on, give them a break.
It was something for us to giggle about.
Yeah, I agree.
And we even had another one that's very rarely seen is we had a pickup man break his foot. I mean, it's just something you don't see at the NFR. And,
Matt Twitchell in round 6 broke his foot, and it wasn't really shown why or how, but he was out for the remainder of the National Finals Rodeo, and really unfortunate. But I guess if the timing is going to be there, he's made it this far. He made it to the end of the year, the end of the season, to kind of put a cherry on top, and hopefully can relax during this holiday season and really recuperate and heal up. Because I mean, what a crazy outcome to be a picket. Usually, you're not in the line of injury as much as some of the contestants can be.
And it was kind of an opportunity for another, too, in that aspect. We're always sad to see anybody go out like Twitchell did. But it opened the door for Calhoun. Mr. Calhoun was Pickup Man of the Year.
Yeah.
And he got to step into those shoes and actually be at NFR. So, for every downfall, there's an opportunity. But they all support each other.
Absolutely.
They all support him. Matt was right there supporting him on everything as well.
You mentioned downfall, and I don't want to highlight the negatives, but the ground for the barrel racers, we saw a lot of fallen barrels. We saw a lot of down horses. I don't think any major injuries, luckily, but I do think that there was a unfortunate pattern that happened in the barrel racing this year because of the ground. And I know that they bring over 2,000 tons of dirt in to transition the Thomas and Mack into the rodeo arena that it is. But what are your thoughts on that? I mean, we watched the barrel race scene a couple times together, and we've talked about it since. Pretty significant effects that it had on those times and performances.
It definitely changed the whole outcome for the barrel racing this year, in my opinion, because there's girls that were there that rarely knocked down barrels. This is probably one of the most barrels I've seen knocked down at an NFR. Yeah. And I can't attribute to what it was exactly that was for the ground, because I'm sure they're really conscious of what they bring in for material for this. But, one thing that was brought to my attention that didn't happen this year, and we just touched on it, is we didn't have the grand entry with all them horses running through there like we normally would, that would break that ground up and not make it so hard panned, or what you want to call on the top, where that ground breaks and then goes deep where them horses will slip. So, that could be part of what it was, is no grand entry with those horses, because some of them horses, they're just meant to run through that arena when they do the grand entry. So they're all over the place, along the walls, everything. So there's really no rhyme or reason that we see for that happening. I'm sure the PRCA is looking at it, intensely right now, because it was very noticeable this year on that. And I think some world titles were changed this year because
Absolutely.
of that. So.
And I think you might be right about that, Tony. Not that Cassie Mowry didn't deserve a two-time back-to-back world title. However, I do think Trisha Aldridge was potentially robbed of the opportunity to really be competitive by knocking down that barrel and really ultimately costing her the gold. So whether it was the ground or another effect at some point in her performances, we'll never know.
Yeah, and Haley Kinsel too. Haley Kinsel, I mean, that woman, we're lucky to see her knock down one barrel.
Yeah.
She knocked over 3 barrels this year.
Yeah.
I mean, that just unheard of. And, you know, again, I don't know there's rhyme or reason to it, but again, I'm absolutely positive PRCA is working on that.
Yeah. Rather than highlight all the negatives, there's some very exciting and rewarding moments from this year's National Finals Rodeos. Let's dive into those.
Well, diving right into it, you know, like we were talking earlier, I mentioned, you know, 26, 27 rookies. I couldn't find anything to show a record, but it's got to be close to it. 4 first-time winners, you know, in the events. That's exciting in itself. I mean, but I've talked about this earlier in the year, throughout the year, about the money.
Yes.
Right? We talked about the
So
round
much money
and the average. And man, did it come into play at this NFR. I mean, we had some big moves. Like Wasey Shala, you know, he jumped from 13th to number 5, you know, and he was on a streak there in the bareback riding and just kind of didn't have enough at the end there, you know. So it's just, for that kind of money and to be able to jump that high in it, it's just insane, you know.
I think it gives a lot of hope going into the National Finals Rodeo is that it doesn't really matter where you are I mean, it matters where you are in the standings, but there's there's an ability to really gain ground, for lack of better words, especially in some events that we'll get to here in a minute, but there's a lot of opportunity, a lot of hope being in Vegas where you can come in 15th place and win a world champion at time. You know, it's truly remarkable. And Wasey is the youngest millionaire in PRCA history. I wonder how that feels.
You know, I don't know. I'll never see it, but I'm sure he's very excited, as young as he is. What, 20, 21?
Something. I mean, maybe barely legal to enjoy Vegas for what it has to offer.
Yeah, I agree. And again, just the moves that were made. Ty Erickson, you know, one that I didn't think to make a move. And come the 8th round, he was in contention for the world, you know, because of that money involved in the rounds that he won. And same thing with the team rope. And I mean, that one.
Team roping really had some impressive teams this year. I really think that every night shifted the standings so much that you couldn't really put your finger on what the outcome was going to be.
And you know, my guy that I said from the beginning is our local boy, Jade Corkill. They had so much control of it all the way to the end. And I hate to say it, there's a lot of things you can look back on, but they missed the steer in round 8, or round 7, and they still were in the average. They were so far ahead on everything. They were clean on everything up to that they dropped 3 in the average. But a 10-second barrier the next night.
Yeah, it doesn't help.
If you take that 10-second barrier out, they win the world by $7,000 because of the average. So it was just that way. And the Torres, you know, Schmidt and Torres, they come in, they were 14th and 15th in the world.
Yeah.
And up until that last round, they were in contention to win the world, you know. But, you know, I have to say for Andrew Ward and Jake Long, I mean, we'll highlight it a little bit more here later in the segment, but, you know, as somebody told me, and we'll talk about it, Jake Long's been to 15 NFRs, and it was told to me this way: it took him 150 rounds to win his first NFR buckle. You know what? And kudos to him. That's just awesome. But
that's so exciting. What a career highlight.
Oh, it was just such an exciting NFR. Yes, they had hiccups here and there, but the overall, when the money comes into play, and I know I've mentioned it throughout the year, but it just really fell into play on how these guys moved and shifted. And you didn't know who was going to win the world until the last 2 or 3 rounds.
Yeah.
And even then you didn't know because it was so up for grabs. It was super exciting. It was super exciting.
You mentioned 4 first-time winners. Rocker Steiner is one of them in the bareback, and I know we'll highlight all the world champions in a moment, but I think that was really important and special for him. Being so young, coming from a family, I saw an interview where they said, hey, your dad stopped rodeoing after his world title. What does the future look like for you? And he hesitated. And I gasped. I audibly gasped because I was like, is he about to announce retirement? The kid is on fire.
Yeah.
So I really hope that we see him back next season. I don't think that he would step away. I think he's just really peaking, and there's so much life left in him on those broncs. And so I can't imagine him stepping away from the sport. But I don't know. Sometimes you want to go out on top, and this is the way to do it. So what are your thoughts on that?
You know, I think Rocker, since he won his first wakeboard competition championship at 12 years old, he lives for the limelight to me. I mean, and I really do believe this. You know, he's a hit or miss, and what I mean by that is you either like him or you love him. You know, and that being said, I think he's good for rodeo.
Yeah.
He brings a new. It's kind of like Tiger Woods going out of golf. You know, we needed somebody new and coming up, and we had Scotty Scheffler come up, and they brought a new viewing to rodeo, and I think it's a need for both.
Yeah.
I think Rocker needs he wants that limelight, and he definitely can showcase. Round 10 is a perfect example. That
Yes.
kid put on a ride in round 10. It's had me out of my seat. Had me out of my seat. But you know, I think it's a perfect fit, and I hope he doesn't, because I think it's a good fit. Rodeo needs him,
Yeah.
and I think he just loves that limelight.
Yeah, I don't think so either, but he left a cliffhanger, so I guess we'll be watching for the 2026 season on what has in store.
Yeah, I agree there. And like I say, we've talked about some of the other ones, you know, the tie down roping, you know, with Mayfield making a run for it, but, you know, Webb held strong on it. And then last thing I'll mention before we go into the champions is, you know, Adios Pantalones. I mean, that
Holy
horse
cow,
is just,
pants on fire.
I'm gonna refer him to, not in a perception of Rocker Steiner and Pantalones, but those are two that are bringing a new viewing to rodeo, in my opinion. Pantalones has followed through all the futurities. You know, he futuritied out at 5 years old, and I don't know if many people know that. That horse is only 5 years old.
That's insane.
And you know, you look at what he did at his first one, and to handle that Thomas and Mack with that crowd and that noise, I think we got some good things to see out of Pantalones, and we got some good things to see out of Rocker Steiner.
Absolutely, and Pantalones being the fastest stallion in the Thomas and Mack, crossing the $1 million mark, I really just think that sets the bar very, very high. But again, records get broken all the time. They're meant to be broken. So I think that we will see growth in his career, but also in the barrel racing event.
Yes, I agree. Again, a phenomenal NFR, in my opinion. Yes, they had some hiccups, but we're humans. We're gonna work on them and fix them. But yeah, I think we got nothing but good things coming up as far as this NFR. I think we got some great athletes in the athletes themselves and equine athletes. I think we're going to see.
I think I want to highlight too, 3 cowboys made over $250,000 at the National Finals Rodeo. Now, Vegas is a place you go to win. Vegas, you gamble. You know, you might go home with hitting a jackpot, but I think a milestone like that in a sport where you pay to play is such an accomplishment. Kudos to TJ Gray, Statler Wright, and Riley Webb, of course, a world champion and well deserving of that.
And you know, and I look at it this way: how do you think that's going to drive the other rodeos for the contestants going? Because now that they've seen this, and they know that they got to make the top 15 to get there, and they can make $250,000. There was the top 10 in the Top Gun Award, all were over $200,000.
Crazy.
So I just see this really creating a lot of competition for these guys to want to get there. So, I mean, you might see some new names at NFR next year because of this. So,
Talking about Las Vegas, a lot of changes heading into the week, as we mentioned with the EHV1 virus. However, something exciting, the National Finals Breakaway Roping Finals happening right now in historic Cowtown Coliseum in Fort Worth, Texas. They'll be wrapped up by the time we're done with this conversation, but what do you feel like that means for maybe the future of the finals of breakaway roping being in such a historic place? And honestly, I think it gave the girls a little bit more time to prepare.
It did. I really don't see it staying there. It's kind of like when NFR went to Texas that year.
Came back.
It came back. I think there's so much more money that they can put up from Vegas. Vegas is going to be hard to beat as far as the money that's put up. And I think that's what'll be the difference, is the money that'll be put up for those girls to go after in Vegas. I don't know that they'll be able to get that in Texas, you know. And going to Texas, I think it's great, you know, going to one of the historic cities and being in that, just like going into Dallas Stadium when the NFR went there. It was a historic moment. But I think Vegas is the home for whether it's the breakaway finals or the NFR itself.
Yeah, I don't know if the girls would say the same. I caught up with Taylor Munsel's mom quite a bit during the Reno Rodeo Suites and was able to check in with her. And she said Taylor was really excited to have it moved to Texas because so much more family was going to be able to get down there and support her. So hopefully it's going really well. We're so excited and anxiously awaiting those results, but with Christmas around the corner, a great time for the family to be together, you know, right before the holidays.
That is true, and it's exciting to see what comes out of that, on who ends up winning that. It's going to be some good stuff.
Well, if you have made it this far into the month of December and still somehow don't know who those 2025 Wrangler National Finals Rodeo World Champions are, let's go over them right now. They've done a great job and really came out on top this 2025 season.
They have, and we talked a little bit. We'll start with the all-around just because, you know, the call, we've talked about it earlier in the segment, you know, Stetson, that call being missed, and it cost him the Triple Crown. The Triple Crown, for those that don't know, is 2 events in a rough stock, and overall is what they call the Triple Crown, or the 2 events in a timed event. I think Trevor Brazil was the last one to do it in the timed events. This would have been the first one in a long time if Stetson would have had the Triple Crown there. But he did still come out by about 200,000+ in the all-around for the all-around title.
In the all-around, and of course taking the world title in the bull riding. So well-deserved there. And like we said, could have had the Triple Crown, but we'll never know, and onwards and upwards.
Well, I'm sure he's coming for it, though. That's he was that close to it, and like he said, I'm not going to let him take it from me. And, you know, as I said earlier, kudos to him. He handled it so well and came back and just put every effort in and competed to do what he did and to win it, you know. And you know, in the bareback riding, we talked a little bit about Rocker Steiner. You know, Rocker Steiner, it's his first world title. And again, we talked on whether he'd retire or not, but you know, his dad is a world champion. His grandfather's a world champion. Him being a world champion, that's 3 generations of world champions in that family. So, and I think there's more to be seen out of that kid there.
Yeah, I agree. Saddlebronc riding, Statler Wright, another Wright name that we talk about, but his first world title.
That is awesome there. We talk a lot about the Wright family, but they're family bred to win. You know, I know they're the top 15 in the world are there, but to have 3 family members in the top 15, we haven't seen that since the Etbauer brothers, you know. And for Statler to win his first one, I mean, what a great job for that family, and how exciting.
And we know Utah is proud of them because I saw that Beaver was temporarily named Wright City, Utah for December 15th. So they got a day named after them because of the accolades. So I think that's pretty cool. I mean, there's no town named after me, so they're doing something right.
And then we had the California boy, you know, Tucker Allen. I kind of counted him out earlier in the season. I kind of counted him out, you know, and I'll tell you what, he showed the signs of a true champion. He came in and just put it to the ground. Now, those of you that hadn't seen it, Tucker's one of the smallest ones as far as weight size compared to them linebackers that we call the steer wrestlers. And he came out, and I tell you what, he showed them how it's done.
He did. I loved watching his post in a round 10 interview because he made it into the tunnel holding back tears, and immediately waterworks when he ran into Luke Branquino, because such an idol. They've worked together, you know, they've trained together. I think Luke is who got him into bulldogging, and so I think that was a really emotional and special moment for him, and it takes a true cowboy to cry.
I agree with you there. But it's the rodeo way. Yeah. It's the family way on that, you know. And then the tie down roping, you know, we talked about him all year, the battle between Riley Webb and Shad Mayfield, and you know, Riley held strong. He again showed the signs of a true champion, and you know, Shad had a few mistakes.
3 years back to back world champion and reigning Reno Rodeo champion. We bring the best to you in June, and that just proves it right there.
It does. It really does, you know. And the team roping, we talked about that too. There was, down to that last night, it was anybody's game in the top 4. And I was kind of like I said, I had my favorite with Jade Corkill in Summers, but watching Torres, that kid roped his butt off. And I was really kind of rooting for him, being 14th and 15th, that they had a good 10th round, and unfortunately didn't fall that way. But again, I mentioned earlier Jake Long, you know, him and Andrew Ward. Andrew Ward's first time, Jake Long's first time. And as I said earlier, if you put it into perspective, he's been a 15-time qualifier, but 150 rounds at the NFR is what it took him to get his first National Finals rodeo buckle. And I just think that is simply amazing.
I think that will probably be one of his favorite buckles.
And you know, I saw a picture on social media of him in his tie-dye shirt, right?
Yes.
And I don't know if you've seen him in the past. Sometimes he comes with his goatee dyed pink. He does different things. But there was a picture of him that it really touched my heart. It was a picture of him hugging his horse and his head to the horse's head. And it just showed you how much they trust in those animal equines to get them where they're at. And he said it himself. he couldn't have got there without the horse he had and the support of his family.
Agreed.
So
we mentioned Stetson in the bull riding, the barrel racing, another back-to-back champion with Cassie Mowry.
Yeah.
We briefly touched on what happened in the arena, and one barrel can cost someone the world, but let's not discredit the fact that winning 2 world champions back-to-back years is a huge accomplishment, and Cassie deserved it.
I agree, and like I said earlier, again, you know, not only did she win it, but her good horse Jarvis was home.
Yeah.
She left him home, and she had been asked, how is he? And she says, he should be fine by the time I get home.
Aww.
And again, to be the only woman to win multiple rounds at the NFR on different horses, it just goes to what I said earlier, the jockey that she is, and to be able to get on those kind of horses in the ground she's in, and she still made it happen.
Yeah, I love it. An amazing, amazing National Finals Rodeo for all. Congratulations to the world champions. We can't wait to see many of them back in this arena in June. Speaking of champions, we would be remiss to congratulate C5 Rodeo on the retirement of their bucking horse, Virgil, who is an animal athlete in and of itself, a 2-time PRCA and CPRA Bareback Horse of the Year with multiple world champions crowned on him, and then producing numerous 90-point-plus rides.
Yeah, I think the current record is 95 points on Virgil. It's still a record right now, and that's held between him and Rocker Steiner.
Yeah.
So, again, Virgil has been such an added value to that breeding line, and they've got more horses coming. I think it's C5 that has them, and it's going to be sad to see him go, but as we talked earlier, the way the stock breeds are today, we're going to see some records to be broke.
Absolutely. His final ride was Aussie Cowboy Damian Brennan in round 10, and I think that was so special. He was thrilled to draw that horse and be able to ride him, let alone be the final ride. His interview, he said, I don't really care how tomorrow night goes. I'm just really looking forward to being able to mount that horse. So congratulations to C5 Rodeo on an amazing career for your horse, Virgil, and happy retirement, Virgil. We hope you're running free in those pastures. But what an accomplishment on the 2025 Wrangler National Finals Rodeo, from the highs and the lows to the fines and everything in between, Tony. It was an interesting National Finals.
Very much so. Couldn't agree more.
Stay tuned for some very important Reno Rodeo announcements coming up next.
Beyond the glow of the arena lights is a place that will elevate your rodeo nights. Don your finest chapeau and raise your glass in a venue that can only be described as Western first class. America is celebrating 250 years. The Dock Bar is the best place to revel and have a few beers. In 2026, we are looking for new partners. The title sponsor owns the room, but that is not all that it garners. Branding, publicity, and exposure to thousands, the Dock Bar is the place that always brings crowds in. Or for something you can hold in the palm of your hand. On top of each table goes your name, logo, and brand. Sponsor live music so the fun does not stop. The room is electric. People dance till they drop. This is where business meets celebration. Host your clients and teams with your favorite libation. Customize lunch or brunch for a midday meet with your crew. Mark Estee and the local food group know just what to do. Their options are endless, each bite beyond scrumptious. As for the cleanup, you just leave that to us. Reach out to us now. Do not delay before these unique opportunities right away.
Welcome back, and thanks for hanging out with us on this special wrap-up edition of Reno Rodeo 365. While down in Las Vegas, Reno Rodeo won some awesome awards. Tony, highlight that for us.
Yeah, we were pretty privileged to win multiple awards. We had the Justin Crisis Award for Committee of the Year, which this is their second year doing it, and Reno Rodeo was privileged to have that one. It was really a big honor for us to show what we do within our community for the Justin Crisis.
Yeah.
We were also runner-up for the large PRCA Large Outdoor Rodeo of the Year, which just being in the top 5 is an accomplishment in itself.
Yes.
But to be a runner-up, I mean, that's awesome. I think Pendleton won it this year on us, but we'll catch them next year. And then we also were awarded the Large Outdoor Rodeo for the Wilderness Circuit Finals and the Wilderness Circuit. So, you know, good job, Reno Rodeo. I mean, it just shows where we're at and what we're doing. and it makes a difference.
Agreed. I think that Justin Crisis Committee of the Year award has largely in part to do with the funds that come from the bowling tournament, which is just around the corner, Sunday, February 1st, and you can still sign up. So head to renorodeo.com if you want to sign up to be a part of that bowling tournament. You can also take part in Miss Reno Rodeo's mini clinic happening Saturday, January 24th. More information on that is on the Reno Rodeo website and, of course, on all Miss Reno Rodeo socials. It is almost Christmas time.
It's close.
Tony, it's been a long year.
It has been, but it's been fun.
It has been fun.
It's been so fun. I mean, I've learned so much, and I get to be with you and do this, and it's just been very exciting.
Absolutely. And if you're looking for gifts pre or post holidays, you can head into the Reno Rodeo office and get yourself some hardware. The Reno Rodeo belt buckle for 2026 is looking amazing. President Mark Sutton did a great job designing this, but there's plenty of other merch in there. Some jewelry, men's and women's clothing.
Tumblers, I mean, there's so much in there. Ball caps, like you said, men's and women's. You got to stop by and look. The store is really expanded on what our abilities to have.
Absolutely. And a gift that you won't find under the tree, a gift I'm giving myself by officially asking Tony, will you be my host on Reno Rodeo 365 permanently?
Absolutely, and be my honor.
I know you didn't know that was coming.
I didn't. That was awesome.
But I had to put you on the spot. You can't say no in front of the people.
No, and like I said, Jen, you've been such a great wonder to work with, and I think we got more to give.
Yeah, I think so too. Kudos to a great year with you all. We can't wait to see you back at the Reno Rodeo next year. We are just 177 days away, but stay tuned for more Reno Rodeo 365 in the future. Tony, that's a wrap.
That is a wrap. Merry Christmas.
Yes.
Have a wonderful New Year. Everyone out there, Merry Christmas,
Merry
Happy
Christmas.
Holidays. We'll see you in 2026.
See you next year. Hey rodeo fans, did you know the Reno Rodeo isn't just the wildest, richest rodeo in the West? It's also one of the best places to showcase your business.
That's right, partner. Whether it's on Facebook, YouTube, TikTok, or even the big arena screens, we've got sponsorship opportunities that keep your brand front and center.
First up, Reno Rodeo 365, our monthly online talk show that keeps fans connected all year long.
Every episode brings in 15 to 20,000 loyal viewers. That's 15 to 20,000 chances for your logo, your message, and your brand to be in the middle of the rodeo action.
And during the 10 days of the Reno Rodeo, we go big. 5 live shows a day. Sunrise, midday, Live at 5, Viva El Rodeo, and the Winners Show.
Each one is packed with updates, interviews, and highlights. And every single one is a chance to spotlight you as a sponsor.
Want commercials? We've got 30 and 15-second spots.
Want your logo on screen? We can do that. Lower thirds, tickers, even step and repeat backdrops behind the host.
How about stingers? Those quick sponsor shout-outs that play before videos? Yep, we've got those too.
Or maybe product placement, giveaways. Host mentions. Or even featured sponsored segments. If you can dream it, we can make it happen.
Looking for something really unique? How about the exclusive drone camera shot, seen not only on the arena screens, but also nationwide on the Cowboy Channel?
Or sponsor logos right on the host and film crew shirts. Guaranteed exposure every time the camera rolls.
And let's not forget the Jumbotron network. 7 giant screens around the grounds, running all day from sunrise to late night.
Think rotating ads, sponsor takeovers, branded weather reports, even interactive trivia and social walls. Thousands of fans on site, and your brand leading the way.
So whether you're looking to advertise year-round or shine bright during Rodeo Week, the Reno Rodeo live streams and arena screens give you the perfect platform.
Join us. Get your brand in front of hundreds of thousands of fans. Become part of the tradition, the excitement, and the family that is the Reno Rodeo.
For more information on pricing, we would love to hear from you today by emailing our marketing and advertising committee at maps@renorodeo.com.
Let's ride together.